make sense what the suffering was for. Cause I got out my head and I got in my bag. No time to be crying, there's money to make. I'll do what I gotta, whatever it takes. Cause I'm pushing myself to be one of the great. And my time is right now.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Lifestyle Living Podcast. Now, today is another day where I had an entire plan of exactly what I wanted to talk about, and that was going to be the topic, the willingness to embrace the life that you want to create. And I was really excited to talk about it, and honestly, was hyped. I have talking points and everything, but I honestly was doing a lot of reflecting, as I typically do, and it's September 4th right now, and that's when I'm recording this episode. You're going to listen to it whenever you do, but I want to really get you to understand the setting of the tone of this podcast episode and why I'm doing this, a little bit of a derailment, if you will. And that is because I just finished my call with my clients and Team Lifts community. And, it's one of the biggest parts of the job of being a coach that I'm grateful for. And we got to do a conversation today about, the last 4 months of the year. What are you going to do to close out this year, right? The 3 pillars of goal setting are health, wealth, and relationships. And how do you want those to look come 2024? And we had a long conversation about just really in-depth avenues of where have you gone this year so far, the last 8-9 months of the year, and where do you plan on just finishing off the next 4 months? And that's why I feel like it's so relevant to have the derailment of the topic of the episode. And that's for you as the listeners, you as the viewers, you as my supporters. And I appreciate you guys so fucking much. You have no idea. That just to reflect on that, think about it. 2024 is literally 4 months down the road. And the crazy thing that I always want to say about time is that regardless of what you do with it, it's going to pass regardless. So do what you wish with the time that you have, but just know there is going to be a day. And I call it the judgment day, but I don't like saying that because it sounds like it's religious, and that's not what I want to say by any means. But I say that because you don't want to have life expose you. I've said that before as well. You don't want life to expose you. You don't want judgment day to come and, make you, force you, if you will, think about the things that truly do matter. So I say this with the intentions for you to understand that the same amount of time is going to pass whether you take advantage of it or not. And I really want you to understand that it's important that you take advantage of this time. Because, for example, it's typical, you could be a 4-month-long program. And a 4-month-long program, you could lose 20, 30 pounds in a 4-month-long program. You could absolutely change your career in 4 months. That's a whole semester in school. That's a certificate. You know what I mean? If you read 10 pages a day for 4 months, that's literally almost like, depending on what the size books you have, 300 pages a month for 30 days, 10 pages a day. Like you're getting through at least 3 to 8 books. You know what I mean? Self-help books. If you want to dial in. So the biggest thing is ask yourself these 3 questions. Where do I want my relationships to end come 2023 before I step foot into 2024? Where do I want my boundaries? Am I happy? Am I full of joy? Am I being supportive of the people around me? Am I being supported by the people around me? Ask yourself these critical questions. Ask yourself, your relationship with yourself. Are you holding yourself to the word that you said you set out to do for your goals? Are you being integral? Are you standing tall against anything challenging for life that you want to build? Same thing with wealth. Are you actually building the life of your dreams, getting closer and closer to having that financial freedom, to having that, the raise at work or the promotion at work? Are you actually creating the lifestyle that you want and providing for yourself, your family, and your legacy on the terms that you want, And that's why I thought it was so relevant to have these conversations, because this day, this week, this part of the year is a pivotal part, September, the beginning of it, we're just starting to slow everything down that we did all summer, all of the extracurricular activities, the barbecues, the family events, the birthdays, the weddings, the things are all just settled down now. Most people are back to reality. If you have kids or in school, if you're studying, you're back to school. Work is usually a lot more regulated. The biggest thing we have coming up is Halloween. So, things are starting to take a big change. So you have to reflect on the last 4 months of summer, reflect on the last 8 months of the year. Really be critical. Is your relationship, is your wealth aspect of your life getting into the avenues that you wanted to get, There's literally nothing else I really want to talk about besides just get into your ears as you listeners, as you supporters, and just really reflect in the last year, last 8 months, How did the year start? How did the summer start? How did you feel this summer in every avenue of your life? Do some self-reflecting, write 3 things down from every part of this year that you liked. Write 3 things down of every part of this year that you didn't like. Come up with 1 to 2 to 3 actionable items that are going to move the needles on these metrics, you know? Prime example, did you like the way you looked during the summertime in terms of going to the beach, taking your clothes off? Did you like the relationships you had this summertime? Did you get out and have fun with friends, family members? Did you stay in the house and be introverted and kind of closed off? Ask yourself these questions, you know, is your career path on the right trajectory that you're confident with and building a life that you seek? Ask yourself these questions because, like I said, there's only 4 months left this year. And the biggest thing that you need to understand is that the same amount of time is going to pass regardless. And if there's one thing you take away from this literally 5-minute, 6-minute episode is that the impact with everything I'm saying is that you are capable of more than you've ever imagined. It's just you really have to embrace everything I'm discussing in terms of where the areas of your life are not where you want them to be, what areas are in the areas you want them to be, and fucking balance those two out and embrace the in between and fucking get after it. So if you're a long time listener, I appreciate you for understanding the derailment of the topic of the episode. And if you're a new listener, I appreciate you even more for staying tuned during this episode. I promise the next one's going to be a lot more structured. But I just like to get on here and speak from the heart sometimes. You know, sometimes I speak from the heart for 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a half hour, you know, but this is just a really impactful time to understand, you know, 8 months of the year is gone. There's literally only 4 months left of the year. And when you look at the 4 months left of the year, just think you could start the next year, the new year, 2024. You could think of your new year resolution you're already subconsciously probably going to tell yourself, and you could already have that conquered by the time that the year starts. So I appreciate you. There's only 4 months left of the year. Same amount of time is going to pass regardless of what you do with it. So make it the absolute best time ever, and let's fucking go.
Who's on my side, I don't know anymore. Cause it's more than a battle, we going to war. And losing again, I just cannot afford. I think it's my time to go even the score. What you see on the surface attached to my core. I'm stacking my paper by feeling for more. One hell of a ride, but I'm staying on board. And now it makes sense what the suffering was for. Cause I got out my head and I got in my bag. No time to be crying, there's money to make. I'll do what I got.